Obvious question to start. Let's say I go to Borders Books tomorrow. I've already got corporate identity. Why do I need to buy this book?
Because if you have corporate identity, you will know a lot about branding, I hope, in theory. And this book will tell you actually what to do. This is a practical guide. This is a DIY guide. This is how to screw the bits on, all that kind of stuff.
Do you find it difficult today, though, when you go to a new client, they might be in Portugal, they might be sitting in Italy, and you put out corporate identity, everyone wants a quote from you. Do you often find it's a harder go today because clients in the developed world know all the answers in a way, they think they know everything about a brand, so you just come with the paint set?
No, I think that when we talk about brands, everybody means so many different things. Everybody talks about brands in so many different ways. And whether you're in a so-called sophisticated market like, let's say, the United States or Britain, or whether we're in a relatively unsophisticated market in branding terms, people still use these words like identity and image and reputation incredibly loosely, and they use brand even more loosely. And brand has a kind of connotation of crass, superficial, cosmetic, and quite often very easily disposed of, whereas reputation has a quite different identity, if you like. If you speak to any university anywhere, you will find that they're very interested in the management of their reputation, but they get very alarmed at the idea of managing their brand because they think it's something to do with being commercial. So the answer, I think, is that it's not a question so much of where you go, it's a question of what you say where you go.
Is there a different conversation than you would have had 15 years ago when you go in a company and you get a call from the chief marketing officer and then you meet the CEO? Is it a more sophisticated conversation than it was before, or not?
In some situations, it's much more sophisticated. In others, it's no more sophisticated. But the real difference is that increasingly today, brands are about service businesses, service activities. And a few years ago, they were much more about product activities. And it's much easier to manage a product brand than it is a service brand. And service businesses, which is what we're really talking about, most businesses are service businesses. Financial services, even jet engines are service businesses to a large extent because you actually have to service the engine when you start. Those businesses are businesses in which most people simply do not understand the nature of the branding relationship with people because they are to do with making the brand work inside the company. Because inside the company, the individuals who represent the brand live. And that is what many, many organizations find extremely difficult. All this stuff about B2B and B2C, business-to-business branding and business-to-consumer branding, relates to a very old-fashioned idea that a brand is something like a glass. You can pick it up and put it down again. But most brands aren't like that. There is a long-term relationship between us and the people who manufacture the brands, who deal with the brands.
One of my favorite recent projects is this, and first shameless plug would be page 2425